Welcome to Letters to My Therapist. I am Maria Antonia Alfonso.
And I'm Hilsa Fort Martinez. And today we're going to read a letter that our writer is wondering if their partner is gay. So our writer begins with I am a 42-year-old professional woman. I have been a nurse for over 10 years and have my master's degree. My 9-year relationship just ended and I am heartbroken.
Okay, so we want to acknowledge that the end of a relationship could be a very painful process, and that's what people experience, like the sensation that you are heartbroken, like there's even sometimes like physical pain. So we know that what she's going through is a process, and that could be some strong emotions, could be a sense of a loss, could be really like we want to remind people that there are different stages that people go through when
Yes.
they are in the process of recovering from a breakup. So we want to acknowledge. She also talked about she is a very well educated person.
Mhm.
She has a profession
Mhm.
and seems like this is important for her. So we're gonna see how this connect with the rest of the
How this
letter.
connects. But yes, I think that acknowledging that her feelings are real and that they're there, that that's what happens. So she continues saying, I moved from Florida to Buffalo 9 years ago to be with him. During those years, I gave him my all. However, he kept telling me that I was not living up to my full professional potential. And that was why I was not better off financially. So, what do you think about that, Mari? I mean,
Well, she starts saying that she gave him all. So I get the impression that there is a little bit of lack of symmetry or
mhm,
in
a little bit of
it's not equal.
mutuality here.
Yeah,
There's not
exactly.
reciprocity, right?
Yes, exactly. And but I noticed like criticism, like when this person is telling her you're not living up to your full potential. She started talking about that she was educated, so I
Mm-hmm.
said this is relevant to her. She had been doing since she had the
Right.
master, and then he's telling her that you are no better off financially. So that's interesting.
So
Like,
there's a contradiction here, right? There's here's a person who is a professional, but still her partner is saying that she isn't doing so. The foundation of criticism. It sounds like there's a foundation of her not being good enough, not doing enough, or being enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, what is he doing? Because he's putting that pressure on her, like,
Right.
financially, you're not providing enough. And
Right.
but
So
so
I would be
far,
curious, right? We
mhm.
would be curious as to what his financial contribution is, what his love. But with the information that we have, she definitely, it sounds like, is feeling criticized and feeling, kind of diminished. Yes?
Exactly, and that is already a flag that is between yellow,
Yellow
very
and
close
red.
to red. When
Yes.
somebody's using the criticism and the questioning,
Hmm.
diminishing somebody in the relationship, that is on the path to not such like healthy relationship.
Okay. So she continues with saying, although finances were a constant issue, we also started having sexual issues. He liked to have encounters with other men so that I would have sex in front of him and alone as well. He would say that he could not give me what I needed, even though I kept telling him that he was the one that I loved and wanted to be with. So, what stands out for you there, Mari?
Well, he tells her that he cannot give her what she wants, but she said, "You are what I want. I really don't want this other thing."
Mm-hmm.
So I see a little bit of manipulation
Mm-hmm.
here. He's kind of like putting words, words in her mouth.
Right.
He's putting ideas in her head
Right.
and is gaslighting her a little bit.
Gaslighting. At the end of the day, there's a little bit of gaslighting going on here. He's not validating what she's saying. I don't want anybody else. I want you. I want this. But he says, no, really, that's not the way it is.
Yeah,
So there's a lack of validation, a lack of listening
mhm.
skills.
Yes, and I was thinking that sexually, it's okay in a relationship. A couple can have variety of different practices if there is an agreement and if everybody is enjoying and everybody is okay with that. There
Right.
is no hurt, and you're not doing anything that somebody's putting pressure
Hmm.
for you to do it. But in this case, I'm wondering, did she really wanted to be involved with these other
And the
people?
sexual variety, right?
Seems like I'm
From
kind
what
of like
she's giving
seeing
us,
for what
right?
she's giving us. I'm questioning. Did you say yes because at some point you also feel like attracted, excited to do this, or this person was pushing you to do something that you didn't want to do?
Right. And this was about avoiding conflict or trying to make him happy in the relationship. So I think that's important because sexuality across the board and between adults, people can do what they want. I really think that the big piece here is having to do with mutual agreements.
Yes, and
Yes.
consent also implies it's not only that you do it, but it's that you participate in the decision. Like when there is some sort of pressure
Hmm.
and you really are doing the thing, not because you want to, but because you think you have to, we are in a totally different
That's a different
situation.
type of situation, right?
Mhm.
So those are some good points. She continues by saying a couple of times he also participated and played sexually with other men, but it was only oral sex. And she asks, I'm wondering if he's gay.
Yeah, so to answer that question, like, it's like we don't know exactly,
Hmm.
but definitely he is interested in some type of practice. Sexuality or sexual orientation goes through an spectrum. There are some people that are in one side of the spectrum that are totally homosexual, that they are totally attracted for people of the same sex. Uh, there, in the other extreme is the people that are totally heterosexual, that they are only attracted from two people that are from a different sex. Now, in the middle of that, there is a continuum. What you can have in the middle of that, somebody is bisexual, that they are equally attracted to both sexes, but people can move in that spectrum.
Right.
So maybe this person is in some of the points of that continuum, and we cannot define necessarily that he is
Right.
one of the extremes,
Right.
but definitely he has some level of attraction and tolerance to having some type of.
Sexual variety, sexual fluidity for for sure. From what she's describing, there's some sexual fluidity there on his part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what I found more interesting, that I don't think she's gonna be able to find the definition, like what is
Hmm.
exactly, because I don't know if he will communicate with her
Hmm.
really. Does he feel more attraction to one sex or the other?
Right.
Because that will need like an honest
Right.
conversation, and we don't see here much of open communication. He's trying to change the situation. He's not being honest with her. He's even making her think that this is what you want.
Hmm.
So definitely, I don't think she's gonna get this answer here.
Well, that clear of an answer, right? You're not
Yes.
going to get is he gay straightforward because we're not. It doesn't appear from what she's presenting to us that they have that kind of open, transparent communication style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would say more than whatever sexual orientation he has, there is something that is even very concerning to me, that is the fact that he is really manipulating her.
Mm-hmm.
He is really making her feel confused and doubt
Mm-hmm.
about herself.
Right. About
Mhm.
herself across different areas, like you said,
Yes,
personally, professionally, and
sexually.
even sexually.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So she continues to say, a month ago, He told me he wanted me to go back to Florida alone so that I could be more successful and that he would stay in Buffalo and we would make the relationship work that way. He told me he couldn't be with me until I was a more successful woman. So off the bat, I would want to understand what that means. More successful. What is he? Again, are we talking about profession? Are we talking about money? What? Where she's? It sounds like she is listening or hearing a great deal of criticism, a great deal of information that isn't about lifting her up or encouraging or validating her. Even to the point where he said, "Well, you got to go back to Florida."
Exactly. And when somebody's putting you a condition,
Hmm.
uh, until you meet this condition, you cannot be with me.
Hmm.
And we're talking about success, and you're saying you have to be successful to be with me.
Well, and what is success, right,
Mhm.
Mari? Because I mean, how are they each defining success? She's not clear on that. I'm not sure that they're clear on that. But as you said, if they're using that as a condition to be in relationship, even that is challenging. But when we don't know what how they're defining success, then you got an extra layer here of challenge of again kind of I feel almost like a dismissive. There's definitely a pushing away. You need to go.
Exactly. And there's no like common goals. Like, do we want more success? Do we want more financial
You're
resource?
saying we.
What are we doing? How we gonna get there? But
Mhm.
he is putting the responsibility only on her,
Mhm.
and seems like she has to earn the right to be with him.
Mhm.
There is something here that doesn't add up.
Mhm.
Like, because again, what is he doing to deserve to be with her?
Right.
So
So we would invite her to have some of those kinds of reflective questions. Maybe she has already, but definitely for you to ask yourself, what does your partner bring into this relationship? What does he do professionally and financially? So that at the very least you can see, are we comparing apples to apples or apples to oranges?
mhm,
Um, that would be one place to start, to at least, because what it's sounding like to me so far is that she's really worn down, right?
totally,
And she
totally.
says here, finishing her letter, she says, I'm alone in Florida now. I miss him so much, but I can feel that he doesn't want anything to do with me. I don't know what to do or how to get over it. I don't know if I'm the problem. Maybe I was too nice to him and gave him everything he wanted, and now he's just tired because I have nothing left to give him. How do I get over this? Is what she asks us.
Yes. Well, the acknowledgement that he doesn't show interest, that he doesn't want anything to do with her, that's what she's experiencing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's information right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the we always talk about that being reason number one
Mm-hmm.
to keep a relationship ended.
Mm-hmm.
To end the relationship is
Right.
if one member of the relationship doesn't show interest, and this is happening in
Right.
this situation because he proposed first, and that's also like a little bit of lack of honesty here.
Mm-hmm.
He got her to leave, telling her, we are going to be separate, but we're going to make the relationship work.
Mm-hmm.
So he proposed on changing the arrangement,
Right.
kind of like some like living apart together kind of
Right.
style.
Style.
And he promised her, we're going to make it work, a long distance relationship. So he got her to leave. Then now that she left, he changed the story. It's not showing interest.
Mm-hmm.
So we really would like to invite this person to reflect,
Mm-hmm.
and this person wasn't honest
Mm-hmm.
with you. This
Mm-hmm.
person really didn't tell you exactly the intentions, and she's questioning herself, and
Right.
that kind of like breaks my heart.
Yes. Questioning yourself. I have nothing left to give to him. I mean, it does break my heart to think that you moved someplace for someone. You are willing to do sexual fluidity that may or may not be something you want to do. You're willing to hear a variety of perspectives on you and your person. and you still feel like maybe you didn't do enough,
Yes,
right?
yeah, and this questioning, because that's very common. Like we hear that a lot. That people feel like because I was too nice, because I gave it all.
Mm-hmm.
Now this person is bored, and
Mm-hmm.
then now like I'm empty. I don't have anything else to do.
Mm-hmm.
I will say if a relationship is healthy, when you give,
Mm-hmm.
when you really show your interest, that will help the relationship
Right.
grow. So,
Right.
and you know, there is a level of reciprocity.
Or
Somebody
reciprocity.
see that
Right.
you are nice to them, that you're doing things for them.
Mm-hmm.
They also want to do things for you.
Things back. Right. And so when she asked us, how can I get over this? I think we probably both agree that the important piece here is for her to kind of turn to herself,
Hmm.
to really turn inward here, because it may be really important for you to ask yourself some of these questions that we are suggesting, to ask yourself really a little bit of what I call the deep dive, like, who am I? What's important to me? What are the things that are important to me now versus 10 years ago versus 20 years ago? Where do I see myself going? Really ask yourself a little bit of these important questions, because at the end of the day, how we get over any kind of a hurt or a loss or a betrayal is through um, asking yourself, what are the lessons that I got to learn from this? Right?
Yes, definitely. And I'm glad that she's back in Florida, where she said that, you know, her family and her friends are.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that we know is to get over a
Mm-hmm.
pain, to get
Mm-hmm.
over a heartbreak, we need community,
Mm-hmm.
we need support. So it's really good that she now is back where
Mm-hmm.
she have her tribe.
Right.
That I will say use that support.
Right. Lean into that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, allow people that want to help you, allow them to help you and to provide you with some love. We need oxytocin
Mm-hmm.
to really get it
Right, to
over.
heal,
Hmm.
to heal. And in this case, I might also say that in addition to leaning into your tribe, to your community, I would want to encourage you to try to think about getting some professional guidance also, because I think that this 9-year relationship has really drained you. It feels like, from listening to your letter. And I would encourage you to get some professional guidance in how to get out of this. Because some of this is going to need to be you, as Marty and I are saying, reflection, really leaning into your tribe, being willing to let yourself be helped. And then at the same time, there is also the professional help that would need to help you to really kind of support that decision of shifting and wanting to get over this.
Yeah, and trying to get over is kind of like putting a limit here in your
Mm-hmm.
attempts to keep a contact with
Mm-hmm.
somebody that doesn't want to have contact with you. If you already identify that, I will say stop trying,
Mm-hmm.
stop calling,
Mm-hmm.
stop texting, stop watching social media,
Mm-hmm.
stop trying to figure out what he's doing, and put your attention really back to yourself. Do some zero
Mm-hmm.
contact like
Mm-hmm.
we always recommend in these
Mm-hmm.
type of cases,
Right.
and just explore how you were feeling when you were there, just because that's the best indicator. When a relationship is good for you, you feel good. But if when you were over there, you were always questioning yourself, you were always doubting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
probably that wasn't a relationship that was helping you grow. So now, how do you feel when you? I know you're missing him. I know you are going, and that this is important. It's a process. Grieving is a process. So probably you are feeling a lot of those negative emotions. But how are you in terms of safety? Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel a little bit more safe now? Are you starting to kind of like regain a little bit of the confidence in yourself? So those are important clues that you have to start paying attention to.
So we hope we've given you some recommendations, at least some um, guidance as to where to start on this path.
Mhm.
It will be a challenging path. It will be a painful path, but it is a doable path. It is one that's possible. So we hope that these recommendations have helped, and we thank you for trusting us with your story. And we look forward to having you join us on our next episode of Letters to My Therapist.
We see you soon.